Runoff cycle mitigation by implementing a green infrastructure by Adrian Michaelunas, Stratford University, Science 210, Environmental Science. Understanding the water cycle. Water on our planet is constantly being cycled between the troposphere, the ocean, and land. This cycling is a very important process that helps sustain life on Earth. Surface runoff is an important part of the water cycle because through surface runoff, much of the water returns again to the oceans, where a great deal of evaporation occurs. However, by changing the hydrological feature of natural landscapes, the runoff water carries pollutants and large amount of nutrients into the waterways. Comparing woodlands to urban development. As you can see, in a natural environment, there is higher level of evaporation while providing very little runoff. In contrast, in an urban environment, we have a bit less of evaporation since there are less sources of water and a lot of runoff because the water is not being absorbed and it carries a lot of pollution that exists on the city. How integration of natural environments into cities development can help reduce the water runoff. Here are three elements in which vegetation can improve hydrological capacities of urban areas. Number one is ground infiltration, two, evapotranspiration, and third, canopy interception. Woodlands. Why are trees important? Trees play an important role in determining the fate of water when it falls to the earth as precipitation. The canopy intercepts rainfall and releases it back to the atmospheres. Tree roots take ground water and distribute it through the tree, which in itself turns it back to the atmosphere through transpiration. Also, tree roots encourage infiltration of storm water into the ground by creating channels through the soil, and they help prevent erosion by holding soil in place. Let's take a look at a big overview of the whole picture. As you can see, trees through evaporation and transpiration create evapotranspiration, which forms clouds, which eventually, as they condense, and based on the right conditions, they will cause precipitation through infiltration. Again, they go back to inner lakes or back to the oceans. And this helps with the soil water balance. How is non-point source pollution regulated? Well, many pollutants associated with NPS include nutrients, pathogens, sediments, oil, grease, salt, and pesticides. And Congress chose not to address these non-point sources through regulatory approach, unlike its action with point sources. Again, when it added Section 319 to the CWA 1987, it created a federal grant program that provides money to states, tribes, and territories for developing and implementing NPS management programs. Cities development can also benefit from natural habitats and green architecture. Not only is good for the environment, good for the well-being of people, but it also makes architecture look more elegant as combining with greenery. Natural habitats and green architecture are probably not the overall solutions to a runoff cycle issue. There will always be a requirement for a gray infrastructure to guarantee water quality for drinking, water transportation, and the treatment of high volumes in small areas. Nonetheless, the integration of green infrastructures within cities can complement the system already in place and reduce runoff water volumes by recouping some of the hydrologic properties of the ground. Thank you for your time and your consideration. in helping our environment. In closing, I'd like to point to a few references: the roles of trees in urban stormwater management, the Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering and Drinking Water, from the U.S. Geological Society, and from the EPA and NASA. Some of the links provided as reference. Thank you.